Welcome to Fanpale Podcast, where we are unpacking opinions and changing destinations. I am your host, Shirley Altador, where each week we will chat about how to rise strong out of all types of obstacles that come with relationships. Through personal life experiences and discussions ranging from infidelity, trust, forgiveness, sex, heartbreak, self-love, and so much more. I am passionate and obsessed to provide guidance to every woman to create a better life. Let's dive in, pull up a seat, make sure you're cozy, and get ready to be challenged and encouraged while you learn. With me, your virtual girlfriend. Welcome back to another episode of Fanpale Podcast, and today we have a special guest with us today. We have Tammi, who is the CEO and founder of It Takes a Village, where her goal is to be your holistic health and wellness journey partner. Tammi had a front row seat to the results of failed health as a care partner to her grandmother at an early age. Witnessing her grandmother's battle through kidney failure, high blood pressure, and a mother's death as a result of diabetes ignited a desire to educate, help, and promote health and wellness. Tammi, welcome to the podcast. How are you today?
Thank you, Shirley. I am well. I am anticipatory well.
There she goes with that word again, a word I don't use, which is new to me, which might not be new to others, but I have no shame in letting people know what I don't know and learning new things every day. But good to have you here. So I'm going to pass you the mic to add on to your bio to give people some additional information that I may have missed of who you are, what you do.
Wow. Well, Shirley, we only have an hour, so I will try to just give you the good snippets, the best snippets. Tammi is also a minister. I'm a care partner for my wife, who's a home hemodialysis patient. We dialyze 4 days a week. Tammy's a mother, a grandmother. Tammi is employed for a healthcare company where I've been for 25 years. I manage a team of IT gladiators, is what I call them. Yes, we're IT escalations, and I have a team of gladiators, right? A health coach, camping enthusiast. I love to bike ride. I love to run 5Ks. Yeah, 5Ks. I do one 10K a year, and that's the Peachtree Road Race. So that, in a nutshell, is Tammi.
Tammi, you're good. I'm telling you, I have a lot of motivation around me because, girl, I used to be in the military and I used to, work out every day, 6 days a week. We had one day off. But, girl, now I could barely get up and do a
Mm,
sit up. Hubby and I
mm,
have to start walking. So I applaud you. You do 110K a year. Look at this. Look, this is good.
Thank you.
I barely jog.
All it takes is one step, Shirley. All it takes
It
is one step,
does. It
followed by
does.
another, then another, then
And it
another.
takes one step to mess you up. That one morning you don't wake up and it messes up the whole routine.
No, just start over. That's grace. Just start over. As Aaliyah said,
Yeah,
if at first you don't succeed, pick yourself up and try again.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, Tammi, we're going to get into your story today. You're going to take back, give us a little snippet of it. And as you
Yeah.
know, I'll dive deep with some questions.
Hmm.
And don't worry about the time. I'm mindful of the time, but I'll know when to cut you off
Okay.
nicely.
Okay.
So we're good because it's important for people to hear your story because I want to hear about this because I
Yeah.
never knew
Yeah.
about this,
Yeah.
and you're gonna tell us what this is, what we're talking about.
Yeah. Yeah. So, let's just be upfront here. This is my first time actually speaking about this so openly. And this that I'm referring to is my battle with trichotillomania. That's an impulsive plucking disorder that a lot of people probably have never heard of. And I was one of those people until maybe 5 to 10 years ago when I, in the midst of research, stumbled upon that multi-syllable word and delved into it and was like, hey, this has been me since I was in the second grade. And I'm 51 years old. And I can finally say, that I have it under control. I have not plucked in over a year. And I said I'm 51, and it started in second grade. So I dealt with this for a number of years. Initially, well, let me just start at the beginning to where I first remember uh, plucking or remember what it looks like. Um, I came home from school, and I remember it so vividly. My mom was in one of the back bedrooms on the floor, and there was a pool of blood under her. She wasn't, to me, I'm a second grader, right? It looked like
Mhm.
she wasn't, it looked like she was dead, like she wasn't breathing. And, I ran to a neighbor's. We're in deep South Georgia. Um, we didn't have a phone at home, so I ran to a neighbor. He called 911. The ambulance came. Then they came over. He came over. I was there, and they were like, her pulse is weak, her vitals are weak. We got to get her to the hospital right away. And bless his heart, this older guy said, "Well, I think she dead. I think she's dead." And then I see my mom go off in the ambulance. By then, my grandmother's coming home, and she's like, "What's going on?" I was like, "Mama was bleeding. I don't know. She might be dead, Grandma." She was like, "She'll be all right. She'll be all right." So my grandmother went to the hospital. I stayed home with my other sister, and then she came back. She was like, "She's gonna be okay. She's gonna be okay." But I remember waking up the next morning. I didn't know anything was different until my grandmother was looking at my face, and she said, "What happened to your face? What the hell wrong with what's going on with your face?" I looked in the mirror because I didn't even pay attention to it when I washed my face and brushed my teeth. I didn't have any eyebrows. I didn't have any eyelashes. My eyelids were puffy and my edges were gone. That was the birth in trauma. That's what it was, birth in trauma. Um, and over the years, I would just steal away. I could be in a corner. I'd go in another room. In bed, I'd cover my head, and I would just, just pluck, just pluck. I'd feel them. They would feel like little stickers, like little
Mm.
plucky things, and I would just pluck them. And it became uncomfortable when they would grow back because I was so used to not having them. It's like having little twigs piercing your eyelids every time you blink. That's what it felt like as a kid.
I mean, I could understand it's not painful because I've had like a little piece of hair on my chin that I've just plucked out.
Mm.
So it's not pain,
Um,
but
it
it's,
well, it can be. That's
oh,
just one hair that you're plucking, right?
uh-huh.
So 1, 5, 10, that plucking, that the ripping. Basically, I'm ripping my hair from my follicle,
Mm-hmm.
and my eyelids would swell. See, yeah, they would swell slightly. Swell like maybe an allergic reaction or so.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I was like, okay, I just would do it. I would just pluck them anytime I could feel one or anytime I was alone. And in retrospect, it's like, okay, was I nervous? Was I afraid? Was I scared? Or was I just holding on to that? Okay, your mama dead. I don't know what the initial catalyst was for that to continue. But as I got older, I realized that it was anxiety, stress, or boredom that would take me to that place where I just go get them.
It's interesting how the mind works. Like that isolated incident with you finding your mother started all this. And
Yeah.
I'm assuming you'll tell us years later how the two connected in your brain. Like, did therapy ever help you really figure out what triggered in the brain to cause you to start doing this?
um, you know, I went to therapy. The first time I went to therapy was for grief counseling when I lost my grandmother.
Okay.
Um, we didn't talk about it. I didn't talk about it.
Mm,
For years, I would tell people that it was alopecia. I
mm,
found that word. Like, oh, it's alopecia. Hair. That's alopecia. It's alopecia. I never said, okay, this is something I'm doing to myself.
mm.
Until maybe my 20s or 30s. I had a boo that I was loving on, a boo that I was loving on,
Boo.
and like, hey, I want to share something with you. This is what I do. I'm trying to stop, but I can't stop. Can you help me? No one can really help you. It has to start within
Mm-hmm.
yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, it was what you doing. Don't cover your face up. Turn around. Here, wear an eye mask. Put your hands in your lap. Hold me. Just hold me. Those little
Oh.
things, they helped a bit, but it's those moments when I'm alone,
Mhm.
the stress hit, uh,
Mhm.
deadline coming with college,
Mhm.
um, college paper due, test, exam, life.
Mhm.
I find myself there. So therapy, no. And initially, no doctor or anyone would tell me anything about it. I don't even know if in South Georgia they knew what trichotillomania was, um, or to ask or go down that route. Like, okay, is this a condition? What are you doing? But again, I was not truthful about it. And I don't
Exactly.
recall a doctor ever saying, okay, what's going on with your eyebrows, eyelashes, other than they are scant, because sometimes I would have a few in, or I would draw my eyebrows on. Most times
Oh,
I would draw my
okay.
eyebrows on. The lashes, I would wear shades a lot.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
and see, growing up in the South, sports is all we had. We didn't have a mall. We didn't have a movie theater. We didn't even have traffic lights in the town I grew up in, right? We just had stop signs and street lights. That's it, right? So sports was my savior. Sports is where I excelled, where I got the hoorahs. Oh, there's
Mhm.
Tammy. She can run. She can ball. Oh, she's in the band. She played 3 instruments. Blah blah. All that was great. But then when I get home and it's just Tammy,
Mhm.
uh, I do my little thing. Um, do my little thing. Hide and do my little thing. And then I would battle with the shame, the
Mhm.
embarrassment,
Mhm.
the disappointment.
Mhm.
Okay, I can stop. Stop. Okay, stop. All right. Oh, I can't. I got to. Okay, I'll just do one. Let me just pluck one. Okay, nope.
Mhm.
Uh, okay, five. Just go 5 times. Whatever you get, this is stop. Just different things that I tried to put in place to stop myself or control the behavior. It was a real
Exactly.
struggle. And in my research, I see how many people are affected by this and the struggles that are happening in families, in marriages. The mom saying, my teenage daughter's doing it, and I don't know what did her eyebrows do to her? Things like people don't really understand, that it's something within that person that needs to heal, that they need to, first of all, tap into to understand that it needs to be healed, whatever their it is, right? And then work on healing that. And then the behavior can be controlled or even stopped. In my
Mhm.
case, I don't do it anymore. I don't even have the desire to do it anymore.
It's crazy how you just stopped. And I used to be a nail biter when I was little.
Hmm.
And of course, off topic, we had said that it's very similar to people who cut.
Yeah.
So I guess all those things go along the line of now with me and my nail biting.
Hmm.
It's interesting that you said, and I never thought about this. You said what triggered was you seeing your mom in that situation, and this is when it all started. So I was born in Haiti, came here when I was 4,
Hmm.
and I was torn from my grandparents. And now I'm here in this state at 4.5 years old saying,
Mm.
this is your mom, this is your dad. And that's around the time the nail biting started. So it's
Mm.
interesting how people
Yeah.
default to something
Yeah.
because of the trauma and the stress that they're put in. And this is what your body does to figure out how to deal.
Yeah.
Of course, I'm explaining the basic version. There's probably more an elaborate part to this that can be explained, but I'm not licensed in any way in those things to explain to you. But it happens to all of us, I see.
Yeah, it sounds like it. And in some form, there are kids that or people that like to rub. Where did
Mm,
that start? What is that tapping into, or what is
mm.
that a response to? Because my grandson loves to rub his mom's stomach, and he's 2. He
Oh,
even tries to rub mine. Like, boy, no.
no,
But
don't
it's
touch
his
me.
thing. So I'm like, you know what? Rub it, baby. Just rub. He calls me Mima. Rub Mima's tummy. Okay. But
Oh,
it soothes him. So I don't know if it was something that was soothing me. At the same time, I was embarrassed about the behavior and how it looked. Um, Sometimes even disgusted, sometimes even angry with myself. Just
mm-hmm,
stop, just stop. But
mm-hmm,
I could not stop. And the things that I could attribute to, my healing is my evolution in a relationship with nature.
mm-hmm,
And that's why I love camping so much. 'Cause I have like a low grade high blood pressure. I take a small dose of a high blood pressure medicine that I'm working on getting off. But I noticed that when I camp, my blood pressure's low because I'm one of those that take my blood pressure every night. I notice when I camp, my blood pressure's low. My mood is uplifted, and I just feel
Mhm.
good. My wife says I have a glow when I camp. Even when I'm just setting up the campsite, she's like, "Are you going camping? You book your campsite. You glow. It's something about you and being out there." And I
Hey,
noticed, I'm like, okay, something's good about this. And then I got to, I started experiencing grounding, participating in
mhm.
grounding, just walking around barefoot. I set up the campsite barefoot. Um,
Barefoot?
yeah, barefoot.
Now, see, Tammy,
Mhm.
I can't. Oh, I get anxiety having to walk on grass because you know what I'm thinking of? I'm gonna step
Mm.
on dog shit. And you out here in the woods with nothing on your feet?
Well, I go to campsites. I'm not like primitive camping. I'm at
Oh,
a
okay.
campground.
Okay.
And yeah, and
Okay.
rule number 1, and I'm a comfort camper, and that's the service that I provide to my clients, comfort camping. So it's not primitive. We have electricity, we have water.
Okay.
They
Okay.
arrive, the tent is set up, everything they would need in the tent is set up. All they have to do is bring themselves and their clothes that they're going to change into.
Oh,
Everything's
that's
there.
where the campfire story,
Conversations. Yeah, one of
campfire
them. Yeah,
conversation
yeah, but that's
started.
that's one of the services. So yeah, but
Okay.
camping, it's kind of what helped me tap into my healing.
How
I
did you
found,
start that? Now, before you answer that,
yeah,
was your grandma being truthful? Was your mama really okay?
she was in the hospital for a couple of days. She lost a lot of blood, but she did have a miscarriage. Yeah, she had
Oh,
a miscarriage. It was
was
a
she
little boy.
alert when you came, or was
No,
she able to speak to you?
no,
So, what
no.
kind of miscarriage is that? I mean, I've had a miscarriage and I
Yeah,
passed
she
it
had
in the
lost a lot of
toilet.
blood. There could have been something else, but I
Okay.
mean, the
Okay.
story that I was told was that she had a miscarriage. So I don't know what
Okay.
led to her collapsing on the floor, passing out, and well, I'm
Okay.
sure the bleeding was from the miscarriage,
Probably.
but
Maybe a lot of
she could have
bleeding.
been anemic and just, passed out.
Exactly.
Right. Right, right.
Yeah. Okay. So,
Yeah.
mama was really okay. And
Mama was
she
okay.
came
Mama came
home.
home after a few days.
And you still didn't stop because you started in second grade, didn't stop till about a year ago. You are
Yeah.
51 now. So
Yeah.
that still didn't even change the situation.
Mm-mm. The fact that Mama was okay, I don't know if it gave some kind of comfort or, and it could have even been me punishing myself. I was
Mm.
little Miss MacGyver before MacGyver. Tammy could
Mm.
fix everything. Tammy does everything. Tammy's the A student. Tammy this.
And
And
you
I'm like,
couldn't
I,
help
I, I
mama.
couldn't do anything.
Yeah.
All I could do was watch, run across the
Yeah.
street, tell a neighbor. And then that was it. And then Tammy couldn't stop this behavior that she was doing, that she wanted to stop. But
Mm-hmm.
Tammy's so good, and you should be like Tammy. Stay out of trouble. No. Yeah.
So I have a few things I'm going to dive into. First, we're going to dive. I wanted to know how you got into the comfort campfiring. What made you go into that? Take
Oh,
me
comfort
back.
camping?
Ca- oh, yes, I'm sorry.
It's comfort
Comfort
camping
camping.
and campfire conversations.
There we go.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
What made you go into that? Did someone invite you? Why that?
Well, my first, no, it was actually my second date. My second date with my now wife,
Mm-hmm.
we actually went tent camping. We had
Oh.
both wanted to camp. I think she had
Mm-hmm.
camped maybe once, but that was my
Mm-hmm.
first time camping, and I went all in. I loved the experience. Set up, just sleeping out in nature, the stars, hearing the birds, hearing the squirrels play, running through the leaves, and just looking at the clouds, the sun, the fresh air. It just opened me up completely. I mean, oh gosh, I love it. I love the experience so much that I would talk about it with people and invite them to come to the campsite. Just come check it out. Just come visit. Just come. Let's have a cocktail. Let's
Mm-hmm.
talk. We could even watch a movie out there if you want to. Just come. And then people like, I like this. I might be able to do this. So then I was thinking, well, I'm a health coach and I've got this health coaching program. Maybe that's something I could tie together to help people establish their relationship with nature to facilitate their healing.
Mm-hmm.
And Camping for Clarity, that's my keynote service. That's a weekend where myself and a client spend time going through what I call the 8 pillars of support
Mm-hmm.
to help them. gain clarity in some area of their life. So we have a consultation. That's when they decide they want to book, and
Mm-hmm.
the thing that they're battling that they need clarity on. So that's our weekend mission, for them to get clarity in that area. And any other pillar or any other area in their life, they may gain some clarity as well. But there's one thing that we're working on, working toward. And during the weekend, we sit down and we go through um, these 8 pillars of support, um, and they take notes,
Mm-hmm.
like aha moments, epiphanies. The
Mm-hmm.
hammock. I have
Mm-hmm.
a hammock hanging, and we do some hammock meditation. I tell them to go in there for 20 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Just clear your mind. Go in there for 20 minutes, and just relax. Just relax. Not really focus on anything. Just relax. And the hammock is a two-person hammock, and it cocoons them. So
Okay.
it's like they get in there. Some go to sleep, some don't. But
Mm-hmm.
when they come out, there's always this light bulb
That
shining above
sparks.
their head. They had some epiphany in that hammock. Like, I just realized this
Mm-hmm.
or that. Hmm. I, this person is not good for me. Whatever the case may be, they come out of that hammock with some aha moment.
Mm-hmm.
And then there are also the trees. We do some tree grounding where I tell them just go touch all the trees in our campsite. And the one that feels differently to you, spend some time with that tree. Feet planted, both hands on that tree. Just close your eyes and just be. And it's wow, wow.
My
I never thought I
girlfriend,
could get a feeling from a tree.
a good
Like,
friend of
yeah,
mine, told me about the tree and how when
yeah,
she goes on her walk, there's a tree that talks to her.
yes, yes.
Now, I love my girlfriend, and I'm not so connected to nature that way. I love nature,
Mhm.
but like you said, I'm not into primitive camping, but I can
Yeah,
do comfort camping.
yeah,
It must be extreme comfort camping. I need all the necessities.
yeah, yeah.
But I don't tap into nature that well. And when
It's
she was
possible.
telling me, I was like, "Oh, okay, you talking to the tree?"
Yeah, it's possible. Really.
Yeah.
When you can, when you have the opportunity, and there are multiple trees around you, just nothing aggressive, nothing intimate, right? I'm not telling you go just bear hug the tree. Just go, just touch a tree. Just touch a tree for a few seconds. Then same hand, touch another tree. Touch another tree. And just see if you feel a difference in your hand, in your body, in your space, in your being with one or maybe more of those trees. And the one that you do, that's the
Mm-hmm.
one that you're having a connection with. Stand there with both hands, feet planted,
Mm-hmm.
and just spend a few seconds, few minutes with that tree.
I'll definitely, it's something I will put on my to-do list. You know what makes it hard? Very similar to meditation. It's clearing my mind and just being in the moment. I find challenging for me at times, Tammy, and that's
Mm,
the thing. I'm thinking I'll probably be touching the three and like, I got 3 emails I need to send. Oh, I need
okay.
to do this, this, and this. And this is the problem. I'm not separating the two. So, yeah, my hand will be on the tree. I could do that with no
Mhm.
problem.
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
it's being in the moment that
Okay.
is
Okay.
so hard for me. So, I know what the issue
Okay.
is
Mhm. Mhm.
because I'll have my hand on the tree
Yeah.
and I'll be that one client that Tammy, you're talking to me, and I'll be like, did I send that email?
Okay.
All in my mind.
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
And
So
multitasking,
yeah.
touching the tree,
Yeah.
thinking, and now,
Yeah.
Tammy talking to me, and what am I really paying attention to? Absolutely
Uh-huh.
nothing.
Okay. So, so you're the one that I would say, okay, don't just touch the tree, Shirley. I want you to touch the tree. Look at the tree. Look at the bark of the tree. Look at the bark of that tree. Look at the roots of that tree. Look up at the leaves. Look up at the branches. You're going to have to give yourself some kind of visual
Mm.
connectivity to get your mind on this tree and not on the email, the calls, the podcast, or
Mm-hmm.
whatever meetings, whatever you have going on. So that's what I'd suggest to you. I'm like, Shirley, are you here with me? Okay. How many roots are above the ground? How deep do you think those roots are? Okay. Look at the bark of that tree. Look at the bark. Do you see any bugs on that tree? look at where they're going. Are they crawling up the tree, down the tree? Are they together? Are they taking food? I mean, are they carrying something? What are you seeing on that tree? So I'll have to get you visually into this tree as well to get your mind off of other things.
Interesting. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
definitely, you would literally have to baby step me to
yeah,
get to that
yeah,
point because I don't know how to clear my mind because my
yeah.
mind is constantly thinking, constantly racing,
Mhm.
and it takes a lot. I think other
Yeah.
than when I'm sleeping or reading a book, and even when I'm reading a book, I've caught myself to wander and to start thinking, and I have to be like,
Mm.
whoa, Shirley, bring it back. And I have to reread the chapter because I realized even though I was looking at the words, but I was
Yeah.
not there.
Yeah. You said it looking at the words.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Looking at the words, but not
Chasing
there.
the words. You weren't reading them. You were
No,
chasing the words.
exactly.
Chasing them to the
Exactly.
bottom of the page. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
So when you say your campground, you went out and bought a campground? How does this
The
work?
universe is taking care of that for me. I rent a space at a campground. You
Okay.
know,
And you've
I'm there so much.
incorporated
Yeah,
into
I'm there
your
so
business.
much. My business is the camping service, not the campground.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yet, the
Okay.
universe is bringing that to me. I will have my Clarityville
Mm-hmm.
campground. I will. I will.
You will.
Ashe, ashe, ashe. Um, but yeah, I rent a campsite for the weekend, go and set up. Um, and my campsites are set up so intentional. Um, because my clients are going to get the elemental experience with the
Mm-hmm.
fire, the earth, the water, the air.
Mm-hmm.
It's so intentional. Um, so we have to be lakeside or near the water.
Mm-hmm.
And I have the hammock up. Of course, the trees are there. And I rake the campground, make sure there's no, in case we do any grounding activities or they want to do some grounding with me, I rake the campground, try
Mm-hmm.
to, free it of any rocks, glass, or dog poop or whatever may be there, right? And then I sage the perimeter of our
Okay.
campground. I burn some white sage. And I have lavender incense
Okay.
strategically placed throughout the site. And deep south, so of course, I create a mosquito perimeter as well.
Okay.
So that's why it's comfort camping. I try to eliminate anything that could prevent my client from having a comfortable experience. In the winter, there are heaters there. In
Mm-hmm.
the summer, there are fans, and of course, tents
Mm-hmm.
are vented. But
Mm-hmm.
the fans, you could just put it on you and just lay there and whatever
Yeah.
you want to, and just relax. Air mattress, cot, or sleeping bag, whichever they prefer.
Mm-hmm.
There's lighting in there, and the tents are fully enclosed. Um,
This
and they
is
all have
nice.
windows, and they have a water view and a land view.
You've taken something that you love
Yes,
and nicely
yes,
incorporated into your business.
yes,
I love that
yes,
because, as your wife said, when you are camping, it takes you to another place. Your whole energy level
yeah,
is different.
yeah. I have that soul glow. Yes,
Hmm.
yes.
Interesting. I like
Mhm,
that. You know,
mhm,
you're the second person I heard who's incorporating nature into their coaching business.
mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's, I mean, it makes sense
Mhm.
with the water, the fire. What are the water,
The water,
fire,
earth, fire,
water,
and
earth,
the
fire?
wind.
Mm-hmm.
The air. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Very interesting. I
yeah.
like that. I
I think
mean,
you should
it,
try it, Shirley.
I would
I
love
know
to
you'd love
try
it.
it.
I know
I
you'd love
actually
it.
was thinking in my mind, this would be good for me to do just as a away.
I suggest camping with Tammy, not camping for clarity. Camping for clarity are the workshops. Camping with Tammy is just a pleasurable camping experience. I'm in Georgia, and I had a family of 4 fly down from New Jersey to camp with me for the weekend. Hey, Jersey! But yes, they came
Mhm.
down and camped. Mother, father, a daughter who just started college to be a nurse, by the way, and granddaughter, and they first time camping ever, and they loved the experience. She's like, I'm gonna bring my whole family back.
This is something we are adding. I'm gonna tell hubby when we're done because
Yeah,
we'll be your family of 4 that could come.
come
Like I
on.
like to do different things,
Yeah,
especially have the kids do different
yes,
things and let the kids understand like there are other things out there to do. And you know, when you first started, here I am thinking of when people say camping, I automatically go to like wilderness. And I don't like that type of camping. That's too much for me.
Of course.
But
For some,
this I like.
yeah. And
And
the
it's
movie. We even watched a movie. Lake on one side, movie screen on the other side. We watched King Kong versus Godzilla
okay. I've
at the
seen that's
campsite with
good.
the
That's
campfire
good.
going. So we had the campfire, the water to one side, the family size tent,
Hmm.
and then the movie screen
And this will be
with the
good for
projector.
them because Tammy, the kids have not been camping. Well,
Mm.
we have been camping, but we had a lodge, never in a tent.
Oh gosh. So you lodged. You didn't camp. You lodged.
Okay, then we lodged because we were out there doing stuff, but we
Yeah.
were we slept in a lodge.
Yeah.
It was a
Yeah.
building. It
Yes.
was me and another family member. So
Mm-hmm.
we never slept in a tent, and that would be good. I've never slept in a tent.
You'll love it. You'll love
Well,
it.
I shouldn't say that because in the military I did,
Oh
but it
yeah.
was
But
a
that doesn't
big
count.
tent, and that's
Yeah.
different. It was
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
20 of us in there. That's a
Yeah.
whole different type of tent.
Yeah. Yeah. I've had a couple of ex-military clients, and come out thinking, okay, I'm ready. I'm like, hold up. Okay, look around first. It's like, oh wait, this is not camping. This is a hotel compared to what we used to do in the military.
And that's right, because we had no heat.
Yeah.
Literally, it was 20 of us in there, and it was
Yeah.
just like I guess a gas heater. I don't know
Mm.
what kept it going.
Mm.
It was not enough to heat us. We
And
were
then the bathroom.
freezing.
Yeah,
Girl,
bathroom.
you went out to the wilderness.
Right. Not my campsite. And
Okay.
even though the campgrounds have what they call comfort stations that have the sink,
Mm-hmm.
the shower, and the toilet, I have my own personal at the campsite.
Okay.
There's a
Okay.
cassette toilet there, the sink, a foot pedal pump water sink,
I've
and
seen
then the
that.
shower. It's pressurized. It's a rinse kit
There's a
actually,
shower.
but a bath mat. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah,
Okay. Yeah, this
yeah,
is comfort /
yeah,
luxury.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm not luxury. Comfort,
Taking
comfort.
a shower is luxury to me, Tammy. Okay. Just being able to wash my butt in a shower with some water is luxury to me.
Yeah, water, soap. Yeah, yeah. So
Okay.
they loved it. Comfort camping. That's why I call it comfort camping.
I like that. I like that.
Yeah.
Okay. So now let's go back. We're going to take you back to your childhood again. Mama's
go.
okay. You're
Mama's
growing up.
Mm-hmm.
And you're still continuing to do this. You get
Yep.
to high school.
Ugh.
Now, if you hadn't told me this,
Mhm.
people, obviously they can't see us, but just to give you a visual, listeners, we both have short hair. And if you know
Mhm.
Shirley, you know Shirley has short hair. I would have just thought this woman made a decision to have short hair. I would have never thought that
Well,
she
yeah.
had this condition. But
Yeah, but my hair wasn't short then now.
oh,
This
it
was
was
the
not.
70s, 70s. I was born in 70. So in the 80s,
Uh-huh.
I had the curl, the S curl, the curly
Oh,
curl thingy. Yes, the Jerry curl. That's it. I had the Jerry, and
okay.
it was my face. I wore shades as much as possible. The only time I didn't wear shades is when I was on the basketball court or in class. I
Gotcha.
had shades on, and I would draw on my eyebrows. It was just my lashes. And
What about the
high school kids
edges?
they came. They came. They were
They came
good.
right back real quick.
Yeah, they grew back. I didn't touch those. It was just the
Okay.
facial hair.
Okay.
It was just the facial hair for after that initial episode. I don't
Gotcha.
recall ever,
Playing
doing
with
the
the
edges
edges
thing
and
again.
stuff.
Yeah,
Okay, so
yeah,
the hair
yeah.
was fine.
The
Okay.
hair was
But
fine.
the facial, like the eyelashes and the eyebrows, you just kept plucking them,
Yeah,
plucking them, plucking them.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Now, as you got older, you are a mother.
Mm-hmm.
You still continued to do this, even throughout the pregnancy,
Mm-hmm.
even after the baby.
Mm-hmm.
Did your daughter ever ask you, Mama, why don't you have any lashes
She
or
wouldn't.
eyebrows?
Nope, nope. And I know a lot of people.
Uh-huh.
No one has ever asked me that question. And when I started opening up, I actually did a blog post. I took a picture at a campsite.
Uh-huh.
I was laying in a hammock and I had my eyes closed and I clicked and I could see my lashes. And it made me laugh and cry. I'm like, oh my gosh, because I thought back to when I didn't have them.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, wow. And I posted and I blogged about it. I'm like, this makes me laugh and cry. And that was my coming out story, saying, okay, this is a condition that I dealt with for so long, and people didn't say anything. And I sent one to one of my oldest and dearest friends here, oldest as in I've known her the longest here in Atlanta, 20 odd some odd years.
Mhm.
And she was like, Tammy, I noticed it. Just never said anything. She's like,
Oh.
I people have their own stories, and I figured if it's something you wanted me to know, you would tell me eventually.
Mhm.
But and I asked other people, some were like, I did notice, or something was different. I just couldn't put my fingers on it.
I see.
Because a
Okay.
lot of times people are looking at you, but not looking at you.
You're right. You're right. You're absolutely right. They're looking
Yeah,
at you and they see you, but they're not
yeah,
paying attention to
yeah,
anything else unless you really make it known
yeah.
or it's something that is very noticeable. And lashes can be noticeable, but not right off the bat.
Exactly. Mhm.
Now,
It would take someone to
eyebrows,
intimately look at you to see that. But you could
exactly.
draw those on.
You could
A
draw
kid
those
could draw
on.
those on. I mean, some
Exactly.
kids do now, right?
Now,
But
did you ever
yeah.
like scab, bleed?
Small, very, very small, like maybe
Okay.
one or two follicles, but nothing looking like a gash or a slash or anything like
Okay.
that. But there were some scabbing. There would be some scabbing on my eyelid, and then eyeliner. I would put eyeliner on my eyelid to kind of disguise it as well.
Oh,
So I was
okay.
masking pretty good,
Yeah.
and I
Yeah.
wouldn't let people get too close to me, not up in my face.
Get out of my
Yeah,
aura.
yeah, not up. Mm-mm. If I can smell your breath, you too close. Back up. Back up. I'm saying, back up. I smell your breath. Not
Okay.
back up. I don't want you to see that there's nothing there other than some black eyeliner.
You
Yeah.
kept your distance.
Yes, I masked for a number of years, but it feels so free to be liberated. Not just because I have them, but because I don't practice that behavior anymore. Um, and that I know where I've come from. Looking in photo albums at pictures of myself. That class picture.
Mm.
Oh, some are horrible. Some are horrible. Just horrible.
Brings back memories.
Yeah, yeah.
Now,
I
were
consider
there,
myself a wine
what's a
because I
wine?
have a fine wine
Fine wine.
aged with
Oh,
time.
gotcha.
Yeah, because those pictures they show some kind of story.
Were there any other triggers in your life that happened that would make you have like an extreme episode of the plucking?
Mhm. Yeah. When I lost my grandmother, death. I lost my grandmother, and then maybe 12 years ago, I lost my mother,
Mm-hmm.
and then 6 months after that, I lost my youngest sister. Now, my mother, though my mother, my grandmother had been on dialysis for 20 some odd years,
Mm-hmm.
and we knew that her health was failing. Not only was she on dialysis, had arteriosclerosis with her arteries hardening, and she was actually a triple amputee. She lost a
Mm.
toe. She had to have a toe amputated. Then she had to have her leg amputated, one
Mm-hmm.
leg, and then the other leg amputated. So yeah, all of that. And then just watching her demise. And then I left and went off to college, dealing with college life, and all of that jazz. Like I said, exam stress, a bad basketball game. Uh, you know, defense was my thing. Defensive stopper. Someone would eat me alive on the court, scoring at will. That would bother me. Things like that, stuff that would bother me, that would just trigger me. But mostly those deaths,
Mm-hmm.
especially, my mom and my sister. My mom was dancing on the 28th of February, dancing. Mm, my nephew's birthday. Got a call March 1st, she was gone. She passed away. She just said
Shit.
she wasn't feeling well. Yes, oh shit, oh shit. Yes, her husband said that they were outside playing cards. She just said, I'm gonna go over here and sit down for a while. I'm feeling a little tired. So she sat down right in front of her front door on the porch, and then she just laid back. And when he went to check on her, she was gone.
That's the hardest death ever because it's such a surprise. You don't prepare for death like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And my mother, to know my mother, you could understand why the little South Georgia church was filled to capacity. There were people on the church grounds. There were people across the street. No one could believe that my mom had just passed away. It was like I got to see it for myself.
Mm.
Because as a teenager, she was something else. As an
Mm.
adult, she was something much more. Like she had 9 lives, 10 lives.
Oh.
One of the stories is she was dancing in the club. Some guy shot a gun. The bullet ricocheted, hit her in the jaw. She spit the bullet out and kept dancing. That's one of the stories about my mother. Yes, she's a legend. She's a legend. She is a legend.
What the heck?
Yeah, so that's why to just go away like that. It's like I can't believe it. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. And then for it to be 6 months, Thanksgiving, the morning of Thanksgiving,
Mm-hmm.
that's when we got the call that my sister was at the morgue. And this is going to be kind of graphic, listeners, but I want you to feel where I've been. My sister, we don't know why she was where she was. She was on the freeway and she got hit by a couple of vehicles. So, of course, she was in 30 some odd pieces. Um, and I didn't get a chance to see her. She was cremated. That one rocked my world. That one rocked my world. She was 10 years younger than me. So that was my baby. I watched her grow up.
So you're how long ago did your sister pass?
She was 29 when she passed away.
Young.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was 39. So yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
She was found on the freeway.
She was on the freeway. And it's one of those mysteries.
Did she work around the area?
No,
Did she find?
she had pulled her car off the highway
Okay.
onto the side. It was still running. And the witness account is that she ran over to the median to like she was picking up something and she was coming back to her car. She was in the far right lane when there was impact. First a Mustang, then an 18-wheeler. And the guy said it looked like she was trying to move and saying, "I'm sorry." And he was like, "She's the most beautiful black woman I have ever seen." And that smile, I'll never forget it. She was saying, "I'm sorry," and like she was trying to move out of the way. Like she was in their way. Um, yeah, odd. Odd. Suicide had been ruled out, because she and I were supposed to be getting together the next day. She had went to the mall, filled up her car. Um, but yeah, it didn't look like it was intentional. And I I wonder if there's some foul play involved. I'm almost positive there was some foul play involved. I really feel as though someone drugged my sister. I really do. I really do. Both of us do. My other sister and I, we both feel like it just didn't add up. It didn't add up at all. She had been on the phone talking to her boyfriend. She was a middle school teacher and cheerleader coach. So vibrant and full of life. Um,
Did she get to
yeah,
have any children?
no, no, no kids.
So your mother and your sister, within
6 months,
7 months of each other, passed away, and two very just surprising deaths, not
very much
planned.
so. Yeah,
That's hard.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And those are the two that took me to grief counseling. My mother, because I was a functioning I was a functioning zombie pretty much. I'd go to work. I worked in an office where I could close my door and
Mm-hmm.
just not be bothered. I go do my 8 hours and oh gosh. We were talking earlier about anemia.
Mm-hmm.
This is around the kidney stone. So my mother passed away. I took
Mm-hmm.
a leave for that.
Mm-hmm.
The Monday I was supposed to return to work, I wake up in excruciating pain. Go to
Mm.
ER. Nurse like, sounds like you have a kidney stone. I'm like, I don't think so. I've never had a kidney stone. I'm thinking food poisoning. Sure enough,
Mm-hmm.
I had a kidney stone shaped like a heart with points on the curves in my urethra. A, a heart. Why did it have to be heart shaped with points? So
Oh
I had to
my
have surgery.
gosh.
Instead of going back to work, I had to have surgery and was out for a few more weeks. So talk about trauma on top of trauma on top of
Type of
trauma. And
trauma.
then my sister after that. Yeah.
And then as
Yeah.
soon as you get back to work, then you get news for your sister. Now you need to
And yep,
step
this was
out
Thanksgiving
again.
holiday. Yeah.
That
Yeah.
year was hard for you, and hopefully you had a very understanding job.
Oh, definitely. Like I said, I've
Good.
been there 25 years,
Oh,
so
this is the same place you are
same
right
place.
now. Very
Mhm.
good. Very
Yeah,
good.
yeah, they're very understanding.
Good.
Very
Good.
understanding.
Because that's a lot to take in with a year.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, but the grief counseling it helped. It
Good.
helped tremendously.
And is that
But
what segued into coaching, Tammy, after that
all
incident?
all of that. Everything that I experienced it led to, me pursuing a health coaching program
Mm-hmm.
certification and, wanting to help people. Because even before the health coaching, I was always in that capacity of helping people.
Mm-hmm.
I started a 5K run club at the job, and we would have, or we had a health incentive program where if you get a certain number of points, you get a benefit on your health insurance.
Mm-hmm.
So I played with the math, say, okay, this is how you could reach gold,
Mm-hmm.
platinum status. Um, Shared this plan with our members because you had to join the Aspire, a business resource group. That's what it was called, to be a part of this team and participate in this program. Helped a lot of people reach that 10,000 point in platinum status. Had people doing 5K a month with me. I'd find one in an area that was convenient for everybody. They'd sign up, let me know they signed up. We'd meet at an area. I'm like, okay, no one's gonna finish by themselves. I would run, finish, and then walk back to the last person with one of our Aspire T-shirts on and walk in with them to finish the 5K. So I've always been about helping people improve, their health, eating clean or better.
Mm-hmm.
Put down the sodas. Put down the
I
soda.
don't drink soda. I cut
Yeah.
soda out when I was 18. I used to drink Mountain
Yeah.
Dew. And
Oh,
within the last year, I am now a full pescatarian. I only eat
yes.
fish
Okay.
because I'm
Okay.
allergic to shell items.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good for you. Good for
Yeah.
you.
And Tammy, I don't miss the meat.
I'm sure your body doesn't either.
I don't miss the meat. Um, I did it because I was having real bad gastric issues. And I
Mm-hmm.
really don't know what the underlying issue was, if it was stress related, which I think
Mm-hmm.
that played a huge role. If
Mm-hmm.
it was, uh, there's another one. What is it? Not small bowel. Oh, now I lost the word. If I think of it, I'll just tell you. But
Mm-hmm.
I also think my stomach issues played a lot with my anemia.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's true or not, but
Could
do
be.
you have a
Could
modified
be.
diet?
I have a moderation diet.
Like you eat
Some
everything?
days I eat pretty much everything, but some days or weeks or even a month, I just eat. It's mostly fruit, vegetables, more seafood than anything.
Shell items or just fish?
Oh, all of it.
Everything,
Shell
everything.
and fish. Yep. Sometimes
Okay,
I may have a slice of bacon, but that's not a regular occurrence.
got you.
Sometimes I may even cut into a steak and chase it with some red wine. I have to chase any beef I eat with red wine.
Well, that's
Because I just
okay.
have a vision of a cow doing the cha 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 in my stomach whenever I eat beef. I do. I say, let's put some
I
wine
think
on it.
I think it's okay to eat anything and everything in moderation. I will say
Hmm.
even now I'm a pescatarian. I feel like I love fish. I feel like I'm probably heavier now than I've ever been. But not
Yeah.
in a bad way. Like when I
Hmm.
say heavy, I might be like well, I am. I'm 140 as opposed to
Okay.
130. That's what I
Hmm.
fluctuate between those 10 pounds.
Hmm.
But I don't miss the meat. And I feel we all eat for two or three. That's another thing that we're not
Yeah.
mindful of.
Hmm. I don't. When I'm with people and we go out, like Tammy, you don't eat. I eat.
I eat.
Just because they give you 3 plates on one doesn't mean you have to eat all of that.
That's me,
I eat.
Tammy. Tammy, that's
Yeah.
me. I know the salad I had the other day, a 3-person salad.
Okay. Okay.
Girl. And I had my little lettuce, my pecans, my cranberries.
Mm.
I had my smoked salmon,
Yes.
croutons, but it was enough
Oh.
to feed 3. That's the problem. I know what the issue is. I'm fully aware that I overeat, but it's good and I'm eating
It could
it.
be there. It could be there. It could be there for the next snack. What,
I know.
5 meals a day?
I know. Is it 5 or 6? I've heard 6.
5, 6. Whatever floats your boat. But
Okay.
5 is my magic number.
5 is your magic number?
Breakfast, lunch, dinner with snacks in the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I see why you're like 5. I'm more like
Yeah.
6 because then after dinner I might want a snack.
Okay. 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 I love to snack on nuts,
Yes.
almonds,
Before you go to bed.
cashews, pecans. Just whenever I want to snack, I'll go
Yeah.
to nuts when I want to snack. It used to be potato
Yeah.
chips or popcorn, just plain popcorn, air popped popcorn. Yeah.
Yeah, they said that's good because it doesn't sit heavy on your tummy before bed, too.
Yeah. Yeah.
So now
Yeah.
I'm going to ask you
So,
another question.
mhm.
After all the trauma that you have experienced. Now, when your
Yeah.
sister and your mother passed, did you already have your daughter?
Yeah. Oh gosh,
Oh,
yes. It took my daughter over a year to even admit that my sister was gone.
oh, she was close with your sister.
They were like girlfriends because
Oh,
they were kind of close in age. And my younger sister, you would think she was a teenager.
mm,
She was
a
a
young
cheerleading
soul.
coach, she
Gotcha.
and taught middle school, so she was like, her big sister even, in
Oh,
a sense.
how old was your daughter when your sister was 29?
Oh gosh, and I think she was in middle school or high school. I can't remember the exact
Oh, so
age.
your daughter was already in her teenage years. She had to be, we'll say
Yeah,
13-ish.
yeah,
So
yeah,
she was
yeah,
fully aware of what was
yeah.
going on when her
Mhm.
grandmother passed and when
Yes.
her auntie passed. She wasn't a small child.
No, no, she wasn't. She wasn't. She was very well aware, and she took my mother's death really hard. She was very close to my mother, very close. She would call my mom from school.
Oh,
I mean, like in class. She's finished her work, she would call my mother. The teachers, okay, it's fine. She could do that because she was an A student. She didn't get into trouble. She did her work, and she would always. It doesn't surprise me that she's a special education teacher.
she's a
Because
teacher as well.
Yeah, because growing up, she would always befriend the kid that was different or that people
Mm.
would mock, and she would like be their protector, coach or help them. So it didn't surprise me that she became a special education specialist actually and teacher.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Now, before we started recording, I
Mhm.
asked you if you wanted to have any more children. You immediately, no,
No. Right.
you were done. You
Mhm.
had one and you was done.
Yeah.
Now, your daughter's not adopted, natural
Mhm.
birth of a child that
Mhm.
you gave.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
I wanted to get into, now you have a wife.
Mhm.
When did that transition take place? And was your relationship with a male
Mhm.
to satisfy your family? And the reason I asked that was
Uh-huh.
because I do feel as though if you're attracted to the opposite sex, you
Mhm.
know at a young age. It
Mhm.
doesn't just, in my opinion, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, this is not something that just happens. And you wake up on a Monday morning and you say, now I want to be with women. I don't think it happens that way. I do feel if you're attracted to the opposite sex, you know at a young age. And I'll use myself as an example.
Mhm.
I am in a heterosexual relationship. We have 2 children. But when I
Mhm.
was younger, I knew that I was attracted to women, but I
Mhm.
had no desire to want to have a relationship with them. It was more, I'll have fun with a woman, but I don't
Mhm.
want to have a long term relationship with a woman. I want to
Mhm.
spend the rest of my life with a man. But I'll compliment an attractive woman with no problem. I've
Mhm.
slept with women,
Mhm.
and it's just fun for me. But that's why I'm saying that if that's an attraction you have, you know early.
Mhm.
So at what point did your transition take place?
Oh gosh, my transition, that's a kind of part of the trauma as well.
Really?
Yeah.
Was your family not? Well, I'm going to let you go. Let me not
No,
ask no more questions.
it's not really related to my family because
Okay.
I pretty much could do no wrong. And if they liked it or didn't like it, it really didn't matter because Tammy is gonna do Tammy.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
but growing up, um, it's really difficult to say like when. Like, did I know? Kids are curious, kids will play and do those kinds of things. But I really thought that again, South Georgia, I didn't
Mm-hmm.
see women together. I didn't
Mm-hmm.
even know that was a thing or an option
Mm-hmm.
until maybe when I got to college,
Mm-hmm.
and that's when the first attraction kind of developed.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but at the same time, like I'm supposed to do this. I'm supposed to have the husband, the house, the dog, the car, 2 cars, the
Mm-hmm.
white picket fence, all of that la la land stuff. And I had that. That was my vision of success, life, a happy
Gotcha.
life. That's
Uh-huh.
what I was nurtured into wanting because I didn't grow up with my father.
Mm-hmm.
It was just my mother and my grandmother, mostly my grandmother and my mother. Um, so then I was, oh, the dynamics were kind of, woo, woo, it was
Tammy,
woo.
I'm bringing you
Woo.
back.
Yes, it was woo. Um, but yeah, I had no idea. Call it ignorance. Ignorance was bliss. Then
Uh-huh.
I had no idea, like I said, until I got to college. But then I was torn between, okay, is this what I'm supposed to do? This is what I want.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was a religious dynamic, and I said religious intentionally, not
Mm-hmm.
spiritual, a religious dynamic.
Mm-hmm.
So I battled with my sexual. I was torn with my sexuality for a long time, and again, that led to the continuation of me doing me with the trichotillomania and battling. This is what I should do. This is what I shouldn't do. I was even married. I even married a woman. I've married a woman. I married a man.
Mm-hmm.
Both, and now I'm married to a woman.
Mm-hmm.
But it was the am I doing what I'm supposed to be doing? Okay, I lost my mom and I lost my sister. I
Mm-hmm.
lost my mom.
Mm-hmm.
Then when I lost my sister, is this punishment for what I'm doing? I need to change my life before you lose the next closest thing to me, and that's my daughter. All right. Well, you need to live right. That's
Really?
yeah.
You said that to
And
yourself.
I was even being told such things by certain people that I, kind of looked up to
I'm assuming you were
in
in
the religious
a
space.
homosexual relationship at the time when your
Mhm.
mother and your sister passed.
Yeah.
When you left your husband,
Mhm.
was that the where I'm assuming you initiated it, or am I
It was
wrong?
mutual.
Oh, it
It
was
it was
mutual.
mutual. It
Okay.
was mutual. Yeah, it was mutual.
How did
But
you come to
the
terms,
thing,
Tammy, with that
this
fight you was
voice,
having in your head?
this voice in my head, this voice that I was hearing as I was getting more into spirituality,
Mm-hmm.
I was hearing worship me in spirit and in truth. Worship me in spirit and in truth. That's when I was with him. Worship me in spirit and in truth. It just wouldn't go away. Worship me in spirit and in truth. And I'm like, am I living my truth? What is that my truth?
Mm-hmm.
Is that my truth? So in the development of my spirituality, I knew that I wasn't being punished. Well, I
Mm-hmm.
realized that I wasn't being punished and that I needed to live truthfully.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where I am now. And I've been since then, just living truthfully, not doing what someone's told me or what I was nurtured into believing was right.
Mm-hmm.
I know that what's right is what's right for me, what's true for me.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where I'm dwelling in my truth.
That's good. I'm happy to hear that you did
I'm
not.
happy to be there. It's
But it can be a challenge. I
it,
know
it I'm not saying it was
you know,
easy. Mm-mm.
I know it's not. And,
Mhm.
society makes you feel like crap. And you even said, people were telling me, you said to yourself, is it because of how I'm living and God is
Mhm.
punishing me?
Mhm.
And,
Mhm.
God punishes no one,
Right?
but there are situations that happen in our lives that we
Yeah.
want to believe that. You know, I'm a living example. Between I had an abortion at 17, I turned 17, got pregnant at 16,
Mhm.
had the abortion at 17. I automatically assumed when I had a miscarriage,
Mm.
first thing that came to my mind. So, Lord,
Yeah.
is this a punishment because of the
Yeah.
decision I made a few years back? We're
Mm.
always assuming that because the world, people, the world has
Yeah.
made us believe that if you don't live right, if you don't do right, you will be
Mhm.
punished for
Yeah.
your wrong decisions or your wrongdoings, you know?
Mhm.
We had infidelity in our relationship,
Mhm.
and a child was born. Immediately, what I did, I said, God, is this another punishment because of the poor decisions that
Mm.
I've made? I'm always
Mm.
trying to, I guess I use that as a soothing mechanism just to try to
Hmm.
protect myself. Like, okay, maybe
Yeah.
this is just a punishment of my bad deeds, but
Yeah.
it's wrong thinking. It's not good.
Yeah.
God
Not good
punishes
at
no
all.
one. Where do I get the shit from? He punishes no one. What's happening is what's happening.
Yeah.
Um, and I understand. I totally get it, but I'm happy you're living in your truth now.
Yes.
And, that's good that you did not force a heterosexual relationship when you knew that, like,
Mhm.
okay, this is not working. Something's not right.
Yep. It's like be true to yourself. Be true to yourself. Live your life truthfully. You get be, don't suffer. Don't suffer. Be true to yourself. Be true to yourself.
Absolutely. So now,
Yeah.
what word of advice, and I want you to tap into a few things. Number one,
Sure. Mhm.
um, with the condition that you have, and for others
Mhm.
out there, you
Yes.
are, when you reached out to me, it was the first I've heard of it. I've never heard of it
Yeah.
in my
Yeah.
life. I would have just thought, first of all, I wouldn't have assumed it had a name. I would have just been like, is this a compulsive disorder that you have?
Yeah.
I would have
Yeah.
associated it with my nail biting issue. Okay, she
Mhm.
just likes
Mhm.
plucking hair. I would have never thought of
Mhm.
that. Never knew what that was until you
Yeah.
reached out to me and told me.
Mhm.
So I guess we'll start off with that question first is, how does one discover they have this? And what are the steps they need to take to get diagnosed and also not be ashamed? And is there
Mm.
different levels, Tammi? That's what I wanted to
Mhm.
ask you because you just stayed with your eyebrows and your lashes. Are there people who are plucking their hair
Yeah. Yeah. There are
consistently?
people. Yeah, there are people that with hair, pull out hair by the patches. Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. Some even bald themselves
uh,
to try to stop. Um, and I'm sharing what I've read in different support groups.
uh-huh.
But what I would suggest for anyone who has this behavior, because I wasn't officially diagnosed,
Mm-hmm.
but I know that's what it was. I
Mm-hmm.
know that's what I was doing.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly what I was doing. And there are some that'll that actually have a diagnosis, that have therapy.
Mm-hmm.
But I have yet to discover any post in any of the support groups I've read where the therapy and or medication, because they actually prescribe medication for it.
There's
Yeah, they do.
medication for this. What's the
They do.
purpose of it?
They do. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a licensed clinician or pharmacist
Mm-hmm.
or therapist. So I don't know the specific. I mean, they'll tell the medications in some of the posts. They'll tell what they're taking and how it's not working or how the doses need to be changed.
Mm-hmm.
But I know for me, it was getting to the root of my trauma and healing that little girl.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Get to the root of the trauma and start your healing. And there are different habits that you can form, different things you could do to form habits that could stop the behavior. That could say it could be a matter of sleeping in an eye mask. It could be a matter of sleeping, holding yourself. Just
Oh.
something to keep your hands off of your face. Something to keep your hands off of your face. Uh, Clasp your hands. I mean, so many different things I used to do when I was doing it to stop myself from doing it. And I would go months sometime without it, but never a whole year
Mm-hmm.
or over a year. It's been over a year now. Um, but that's it. Get to the root of when, where, how it started,
Mm-hmm.
and just tap into that. I think that's what should be the start of your healing process, or even where your therapy should probably begin. When did you start? What were you feeling? What was going on around you? Because it could, for some, it could be chemical. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
That wasn't the case for me. But with most of the people that I know and that I've chatted with that have some type of disorder where they're somewhat harming themselves, whether it's cutting, plucking, nail biting, there is something, some action or something they witnessed or experienced when it started. And that's where the healing needs to start there.
Gotcha.
So, I comfort that little girl
Mm.
whenever I reflect on some trauma that uh, that I feel, I just go to that little girl and tell her she's safe, she's protected, and Big Tammy got you.
Big
Big
Tammy.
Tammy got you.
Big
Big
Tammy.
Tammy got you.
You know it.
5, 5 3/4. Big Tammy got you.
But you say
Yeah.
something very real about everything that we go through as adults starts
Yeah.
some way, somehow from some childhood trauma or something that we experience that attachment has grown with us and we don't
Mhm.
even realize it till later on in life. And you're like, you do some self-discovering and you realize, oh, this is
Mhm.
why I'm doing
Mhm.
this. In your situation, how you found your mother. In my situation, leaving from one country to come here,
Yeah.
and everyone's situation is different.
Mhm.
But it's interesting. And I'm only discovering this within the last years how your childhood has so much impact on
It does.
your adult life.
Mhm. It does. It really does.
Extremely.
Mhm.
So now the other advice I wanted you to offer is from a Black woman in the LGBTQ community. I hope I'm saying it right. I think sometimes I hear IA. I don't know if I'm missing some, so I'm sorry if I'm saying things
Yeah.
incorrectly.
Oh.
Um, what advice do you have for a Black woman living in this world who's scared to come out? Especially a Christian woman coming from a Christian background
Mhm.
and all the information that is given to her. You shouldn't live like that. You shouldn't do this. You shouldn't do that. And just scared
Mhm.
because of what they're going to face or
Yeah.
be shunned,
Mhm.
family
Mhm.
disowned. Who knows what they might go through? And what word
Yeah.
of advice
Yeah.
do you have to offer them?
One, connect with a Christian group that affirms you, that loves you, that can love you, and that can
Mm-hmm.
show you love.
Mm-hmm.
Because God is a God of love and truth.
Mm-hmm.
God is a God of love and truth.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're not getting it where you are, there are places where you can.
Mm-hmm.
A whole organization that's international, the Fellowship of Affirming Ministries. Google it. TFAM. Google it. You'll find a community near you where you can get some support. Just be truthful with yourself. God is a God of truth and love. And that voice I was hearing, worship me in spirit and in truth,
Mm-hmm.
do that. Do that. You may lose some people, but if you lose the people, they were never yours in the first place.
I like that. They were never yours in the first
Because
place. And that
if
includes
they love you, they
family.
love you.
Yeah.
If they love you, they love you.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you think about it, and my pastor is one who put this so eloquently and helped me understand and get it. Oftentimes, people look at us, or people look at a person and judge that person from their reflection in the mirror. For instance,
Yes.
somebody has on a short skirt. Oh, look at that skirt she got on. What? Are you mad with her because she wearing the hell out of that skirt? Or are you mad because you can't wear it?
You're right, though. It all starts with us. It's a reflection of how we see us
Yeah,
when we're
yeah.
bullying people, because that's basically what it is. We're bullying
Mm-hmm.
people.
Yep, yep.
Mm-hmm.
But that's my advice. Connect with a community um that not just accepts, no, that receives you and
Mm-hmm.
affirms you.
Yes. And I like how you said you may lose some people, and if you lose them, they
They
weren't
were never
yours to
yours.
begin with. And that
Mm-hmm.
includes family or friends.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now with the health coaching that you provide,
Hmm.
give us a little more information of who should come to you, why, and how can you be of benefit to them?
Okay. Okay. Well, my company name is It Takes a Village. And I say that I consider mind, body, and spirit to be our village.
Mm-hmm.
And at the same time, it takes multiple different connections at times for people to get what they need. So I don't turn anyone away. Why?
Mm-hmm.
Because I have a village of other healers, uh, therapists,
Mm-hmm.
doctors
Mm-hmm.
that I could refer them to, direct them to assist, because everybody's not for me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you have trike and would like to connect and we work through some or develop something for you, because I
Mm-hmm.
don't, there's no one program for any person. Everyone's an individual, and I treat them as such. I have my outline of a program,
Mm-hmm.
but I mean, I'm taking you as you are, receiving you as you are, helping you in the area that you need to be helped.
Mm-hmm.
If it's something in my area that I can help you with,
Mm-hmm.
okay, I got you. We can do this. If there's someone I need to refer you to, okay, got you. Try this person. So if you're in need of help, reach out. I said, I'm your health and wellness journey partner. Even if that partner means referring, even if that partnership means referring you to someone else who's better qualified to assist you. Because a lot
Mm-hmm.
of times people don't want to
Mm-hmm.
reach out because they don't know who to reach out to.
True.
They don't
True.
know who to
And
go
people
reach
are
out to, where
scared.
to go. Very much so. Very much so. And that's why people need to be treated with care. And that's why I'm not gonna narrow the door. Who could reach out? Anybody who has the capability of reaching out. That's
Gotcha.
who can reach out.
Gotcha.
That's who can reach out. And you'll just be another person in the village connected to who you need to be connected with for your holistic health and wellness journey. Yeah.
And you can definitely even go, even if you just want to get away, because it's something I'm
Yes.
strongly considering for the family as a
Camping,
nice
camping,
getaway.
camping.
Yes.
Camping,
So
camping. Yes,
even if you
yes,
just want a small getaway, whether it's the family or you and your significant
yes.
other, that is
Mhm.
another option. Comfort camping,
Yes.
guys, because you know Shirley ain't into that primitive stuff. So comfort camping, there is
That's right.
shower. That is luxury to me.
Toilet, sink, right there.
Exactly.
Comfortable bedding, a fully enclosed tent, the view of the water, the sound of the birds, the fresh air, the trees, the crackle of the fire.
Yeah.
I'll have it going as long as you want, because I will burn a fire all day. For
Uh,
my 50th birthday, I had a fire going for 24 hours.
oh, look at you. Look at you.
I did, I did. But yes, comfort camping. Reach out, go to It Takes a Village, um, and it's spelled a little differently. It's
It
I
does,
T
because
T, the
I was
number
trying
eight.
to pronounce it, and you were like, "It takes a village." I was like,
Yes,
"What?" Okay.
ITT. Yes, that's it. T, the number eight. KS takes
Hmm.
a village. Yes, because
Yep.
it does take a village, right? It does. Yeah.
All right. So, as we end today, Tammi, I want to thank you for being a guest, educating me in so many different avenues, especially with trike,
Trichotillomania, short trike. Yes.
trike,
Hmm.
and something I didn't know. Now I do know. Very interesting to hear because I I would have never assumed that. I would have just put it right along the lines of maybe they have some issue, anxiety, or
Yeah.
something, right? With nail biting. That's what I
Hmm.
would have assumed it.
Hmm.
But thank you for being a guest,
You're welcome.
educating us today, giving us the information that you've provided us, sharing your story, which enlightens many people in so many different ways. You know, everyone's story is unique. So, as we end today, listeners, as always, thank you for listening. And remember to love yourself, voice yourself, and be yourself. Until the next podcast, have a great day. Thanks for tuning in to Fanpale Podcast. If you want to continue the conversation or share your takeaways, I want to hear from you. Head on over to the website or join our Facebook community and comment your favorite part of the show or share your thoughts. I want to hear what you have to say. Don't forget to rate and subscribe to the podcast so you never miss an episode. Chat with you next week.